Welcome to Sports Track. I am Osaibovo Usifo. The need for more collaboration between the government and the private sector has again been said to be crucial if Nigeria is to achieve its potentials in sports. The Nigerian Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, emphasized this position at the 2024 African Sports Tourism Award, where Dar Communications PLC was recognized for its strides in sports tourism.
Over 20 individuals and organizations were recognized for their efforts in sports tourism, including Dar Communications PLC, which received the award for media excellence.
This means too much to Dar Communications because to a large extent, Dar Communications have really contributed to sports, and we are so much grateful that we are still remembered. Even High Chief is still remembered even when he's gone. And we are grateful to God Almighty for the strength and for making us able to always be there.
The Minister of Sports Development, who bagged the award for Sports Ambassador of the Year, said Nigeria must address key areas, including inadequate infrastructure and funding, to exploit the multi-billion-dollar sports tourism industry.
We must work collaboratively to develop solutions to end the funding and infrastructure deficit across African nations and institute a solid sport development structure that will enhance the industry's long-term sustainability. It's only by doing this that we'll be able to attract major international sporting events into Africa.
Former Governor of Osun State, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, got the award for sports tourism cultural integration. The Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, got the Sports Tourism Personality Award, while the Chairman, Benue State Football Association, Paul Ede, was named the Sports Tourism Mentor of the Year.
This award is certainly going to spur me to continue to see how I can grow the game at the grassroots, supporting women who are inclined to pursue sports, particularly football, as a career.
Asta is about tourism essentially, and what will stimulate the African content area is the flavor of our traditional sports.
This event is a testament to the remarkable individuals and organizations who have dedicated themselves to advancing these fields, shaping the landscape of Africa and leaving an indelible mark on its legacy.
Over the years, Dar Communications PLC has contributed immensely in the development of sports tourism. The organization has now promised to continue to do more to project the image of Nigeria and Africa at large to the rest of the world. Laila Wal, AIT News, Abuja.
I was highly honored to have you here this night. It's a great honor, the greatest honor of my life. Welcome, sir. And we have our Sake Sultan Adobitu. He's a father, he's a mentor, and tonight he is here, ably represented by Are Professor. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. We have our Minister of Sports from Ghana, ably represented by high delegations. You're welcome, sir. We have here our distinguished ambassadors from different countries. We're glad to have you here. We can see Ethiopia is here, Cote d'Ivoire is here, we have Ghana, we have other countries, we have Angola. In fact, she's one of the first people that came here. We are happy to have you, Angola. Thank you. Thank you. We have our awardees that decided that are great stakeholders of sports tourism in Africa. We're happy to have you here. All distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our excellencies, we have the former SA2 Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. He's here represented. And we have our stakeholders from the tourism industry and the sports industry. We're happy to have you here. This is a great night for all of us. All our guests, distinguished guests, I welcome you. Thank you all for coming.
Sports Tourism Award, and the president of the group, Ambassador Peace Onoiri, is joining me now. Looking very resplendent in a traditional attire, all red. Good morning, Peace.
Good morning, sir.
Please take a seat.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about this Sports Tourism Award. What is this about? Sports tourism? That's a new one.
Yeah, sports tourism is actually a new one because we know about sports, we know about tourism, but now the trend is merging the two together and looking at the interdependency of the two ministries.
The two sectors.
Yeah, two sectors, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So sports, we know, like you said. Tourism, we do know. Nigeria is doing so much, trying to become one of the hottest tourist destinations in spite of all the challenges that the country is facing. But now that sports is joined into it, what exactly is the unique selling point here?
It is what the selling point here is the collaboration between the two and how we will have to maximize the opportunity embedded in it. First of all, we have to discover the potentials. There are so many hidden things when it comes to sports tourism. So now, when you now look at the potentials, you will try to harness those potentials that are embedded in it, especially for socio-economic development.
All right, talking about social economic development, sports we know is one area where a lot of employment can be generated.
Yeah.
Of course, given the number of the youth in Nigeria teeming, but that's a larger percentage of the Nigerian population. Tourism is also a very huge potential employer of labor. Because when you look across the country, you have tourist sites all over the place. So merging sports with tourism. Are you talking about sports itself as a tourism, as something attracting tourists to sporting events, or sporting events as attracting people to tourist centers?
Well, it's vice versa. You know, there is nothing that moves people massively to a destination more than sports. We have mega sporting events, just like the one we had in a few months ago in Côte d'Ivoire, the AFCON. The CAF, yeah, AFCON actually. It moved people massively into that location. And the good thing was that the government of Côte d'Ivoire actually did well. They harnessed the potentials. They did the infrastructural development. You can see it. You can see how it's revived their economy. And so sport is one thing that drives people to destinations. And then when you put the tourism component now, that is when you now start looking at the potentials across board. So you look at people, whenever you go to those destinations, you look at people who are going to eat, the transportation, you look at the different links, and now we're looking at also the destinations in those areas. So it has to be intentional now. We need to be more intentional for people to be able to look at the potentials and derive the benefits from it. Yeah.
All right. There are some awards attached to the program that you've described now.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about those awards.
Okay, the Asta Awards.
Yes.
What
are those about? What are you looking at? What are the yardsticks for measuring the recipients of those awards?
Those awards actually went to people and organizations, not just people, organizations that have reached the pinnacle of this industry. They have done so much to contribute in the growth of sports and tourism across Africa. Now it is Africa, not just Nigeria.
Okay.
Look at what AIT did. Let's start with AIT. You are an organization. We know that we gave a posthumous award to the founder of AIT, Chief Dokwesi, may bless soul, rest in peace. And we remembered what he did in contributing to sports in the media. He promoted sports. Including the last AFCON. You know that AIT aired it live from Cote d'Ivoire. Everybody was able to watch it. Even people that did not travel, they didn't miss anything. Haiti has done so much in promoting sports and tourism across Africa over the years. That is one. They are one of the recipients of Asta Award, Asta Media Award. Okay. And you have people like the governor of Lagos State, also was a recipient of the award for what they have done in tourism. You believe and agree with me that Lagos State has done so much. You look at the regatta, you look at the way they promote, His Excellency promotes sports. So Lagos State is a beacon of light. And you look at people like Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu. Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu is a custodian of the cultural heritage of the Igbo people. And you cannot talk about tourism, you cannot talk about sports without looking at those people who have done so well. Look at people like Sakesintin Adebutu, who has revamped the stadium, the national stadium in Lagos. See what he has done in promoting and supporting sports people. He has done so much in tourism also. Those are the people we have to acknowledge, everybody across board. The Honorable Minister, the Minister of Sports, he's doing so well. He's committed in promoting sport. Honorable Minister of Tourism, you have Ogbeni Rauf Aregbeshola. We are looking at what people have done, because before we came now, there are people who have worked at the background, and those people need to be commended. People like Chief Dalozo, building an economic city that is the highest in the whole Africa. So there is no sports, there is no tourism without those people. People like Otumba Kayode, that is the CEO of Batok Oil. He has been sponsoring sports at the grassroots, and there are just a lot of them that we had to say, these are the things you've done. We're seeing the results today. And we cannot just look at the results without celebrating you, celebrating excellence. And why celebrating you? We are telling you to come now. Don't relax. It is time we need you. The youth in Africa needs you. The whole Africa needs you. Like the Minister of Sports in Ghana was also received the award as the Sports Minister of the Year because of what he has done. Ghana is now the sports city of Africa, and will remain so for the next 3 years. So those are the people who have done so much, and their legacy is what we are celebrating for the first maiden of Asta. And all of them, all these awards are just based on what people have done, So yes, so that is it.
Okay, Asta, will it be a yearly thing or a biennial thing, or how? Because you talked about Ghana being the sports capital of Africa, or sports city of Africa, for the next 3 years.
Yes.
So is Asta going to be a yearly thing, or once every 3 years?
Asta is a yearly thing,
okay,
and it's going around the whole Africa. Right now, we have African countries calling in. In fact, it was because of the timing. So most of the African countries would have been here. And we had representations also from about 10 African countries, So we're moving around the whole Africa, because this is going to solve a critical issue with the African Union, looking at preservation of culture and heritage, So this Asta is going to solve that particular issue, and also another issue of raising the GDP of Africa, and youth empowerment and engagement. Sport is one unifying factor that is going to engage youth. We have programs already for the youth. And before I forget, that all the recipients also are going to enjoy a VIP trip to the safari between June 23rd and 27th. All the recipients of Asta and other stakeholders are going. Because if we're saying we're promoting the destinations of Africa, we don't want our leaders to be taking our money to Europe and other places for their holiday and leisures. We're going to start with Asta. So we're taking all of them to the safari in
When you say safari, which safari? The Serengeti in Tanzania or where?
In Tanzania, they will go to Serengeti. They will also go to Ngorongoro Park also. So it's a 5-day VIP tour. So for all our stakeholders, because we're going a step further to say we appreciate what you are doing. We are taking you there. So it's going to be a big one. And then remember that for Asta, it was unveiled actually at the Sofitel Hotel in Cote d'Ivoire 2 months ago.
Abidjan.
And Abidjan during the AFCON. And after that, we've already taken our people to the All African Games in Ghana. We did that. And each places we go, we actually promote the destinations there. Like when we got to Ghana, the Ayamensa Trail was a beautiful place, and we took our people there. You have to discover these places in Africa. We want the same thing for Nigeria also. So all sporting activities, including the Olympics, Asta is ready here to take you there. In fact, during the AFCON, we made provisions for logistics for people. If you want to travel by road, you want to travel by air, and both your accommodation, everything, we took care of it, because we want people we want Africans to embrace what Africa has. You understand? So those are the things we provide, logistics, all those things. We want you not just to watch the matches in the stadium and go. No, you have to tour the destinations.
Watch the games and get to know the country.
Exactly, including the culture of such countries. You know, their food, their culture, their music, everything is just a holistic approach. That is what we give. The same thing happened in Ghana. The same thing is going to happen in the next 2 months. It's going to be big in what's it called now? The Olympics. We're going to have an African city, an African village. Is just pure African. So you're going to look forward to us there. You have to come with us and let us tour all these places. So starting from the safari trip by June, we go from there to the Olympics. So Asta is here to serve the youth, to give you opportunities, and also for talent hunts and development. We're looking at youth and sport lovers at the grassroots level. We're looking at your at your communities. What do you have? Nigeria has a lot of tourism destinations and attractions. We have so much. People all over the world want to come because Africa is where you have it now. So Africans, we now have to change our orientations. That is why we need media houses like you. We have to change our orientations. We have to accept what we have. We have to discover ourselves. We have to sell and project ourselves to the world. You understand? We have to be proud of ourselves. If you don't know that what you are wearing now worth $5 million, another person is seeing it, but if you don't see it, you won't even value it. Do you understand? So we have to value what we have as Africans and promote Africa.
Talking about valuing what we have, I'm looking at your attire now, and this is completely African, especially the hairstyle that you're wearing. Where is this from?
This is the Igbo. You look at.
No, I'm talking about the hairstyle now.
Okay, the hairstyle is Igbo also.
Also,
it is Igbo also, and this is the Akwete.
The material is the Akwete material.
Yes, and when you travel to other countries like Tanzania, you go for all these places. They use every of this thing to make souvenirs. Anybody who comes there goes away with souvenirs. Do you understand? Nigeria can do that.
That's a thriving industry on its own if it's properly managed.
It is billion-dollar industry. You make souvenirs. All our youth are looking for jobs. There is so much you can do with this. This is Akwete. Do you understand? We have the Adire. We have the Tiv. We have our Ankaras. We have so many things we can do to generate income. And now you talk about the hair. You look at the trend now. They said all these attachments and all these things, they are so expensive now. Why don't we go to what we have? My mom was telling me, she came for my event, and she was telling me that in their own days, they were using thread. And this thread is biodegradable. And this thread, you can use it over and over again. So why will I use attachment? Burn it, buy used ones and discard it. These are the things we want to go back to what we have, to our cultural values and heritage. We have so much as Africans. We have much more as Nigerians. We have so much. So these are the things Asta is promoting.
Okay, Asta, looking at tourism and sports, marrying them together, what are the plans for the future? Are you also looking at some level of sports development? Because I heard you talking about raising the GDP, talking about youth engagement. What are your plans in that? Are there any plans in that direction? I'm talking about engaging in sports development, tourism development.
Okay, maybe, the first thing
maybe promotion of football clubs or tourism centers.
Thing is even we need government collaboration. Asta has been self-funded. There's no funding from anywhere. There's no support. But this is what we can give to our country, to our continent. We're calling for collaborations. We need collaborations because all the youths, let's take even 10% of the youths, empowering them through reviving our cultural sports. This is Asta International Magazine. For those who want, you will see a place where we talked about our cultural sports. We have it in Africa, and that alone can give us so much. We have primary schools, secondary schools, tertiary institutions that can come forward and go back and promote our cultural sports in Africa. That we intend to propagate when we're having a robust event for the youth. I don't want to spill it out now. Please permit me not to spill it out now, but we have something for them to develop grassroots talent and the promotion for the youth and for sports and also tourism. We have that, and it's going to be robust across Africa. Then for infrastructure, for the government, we're calling for infrastructural development. We want to have them self-reorientation on how to manage our infrastructures, you understand, so that we'll be able to build on that for the future. And for the tourism industry, that is why it is critical for both the tourism sector and the sports sector to see that both of them has to collaborate and do this together. So we're calling on governments for their partnership. We're calling for individuals. We're calling for organizations to partner with us to make this happen. And definitely it's going to work. So that is it.
So the awards you talked about, have they been held or when? Or is it when?
It was held on the 25th of April.
That was Thursday?
Yes, in Transcorp Hilton.
Here in Abuja?
Here in Abuja, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it was well attended. Yeah, and we also had people calling in from different African countries. Yeah.
All right, I wish you the very best as you go ahead with this very laudable process, one that, of course, will join tourism and sports across the continent of Africa, and that's one of the fortes of African independent television. The payoff for this station is sharing the African experience. I'm sure you know that.
I know.
So we share the African experience not just in terms of what we wear on air, like I'm dressed and you are dressed, but also in terms of promotion of sports and of tourism across the continent. So I must thank you very much for coming on the program.
It's been a pleasure.
Peace Onwiri, Ambassador Peace Onwiri, thank you very much for being part of the program, and of course we wish you the very best in all your endeavors. And we thank you too all for joining us on the program this morning. We ask that you join us again for another edition of Kakaki, the African Voice, on Tuesday. This is where I sign out for this morning. Have a great day, and whatever you do, please be safe.